welcome to the class. So let us continue our class on definite integrals. See, in our previous video classes, we have worked out some of the examples and integrated the definite integrals. So to integrate definite integrals, no need to write the constant of integration. Then use the limits. Okay, limits of integration. That is upper limit and lower limit. So how can we calculate the value? So antiderivative at the upper limit minus antiderivative at the lower limit. So the difference gives us the value. So that function must be continuous. See, f of x, if we want to integrate this from a to b, this function should be well defined in the closed interval ab. Then, so if we integrate this, we will get one antiderivative. So a to b, see, lower limit and upper limit. So this can be obtained by antiderivative at the upper limit minus antiderivative at the lower limit. So, okay. So this is the statement of fundamental theorem of integral calculus as we discussed in our previous class. So if we use substitution method to integrate the given functions, then you change the limits according to our substitution. So all these things we have discussed in our previous class. See, in this session, very important session from examination point of view. See, properties of definite integrals. So we have some simple properties related to definite integrals. So let us discuss about those properties and proofs. So here we will prove all the theorems, okay, or properties. Out of those properties, some of the properties are important from the examination point of view. So I will highlight those properties in this session. So let us begin to consider the properties one by one. Okay, so let us begin by considering first property. Okay, see, I will write this as CP1, that is first property. So very simple property. So what is this? See, prove that integration a to b f of x dx is equal to integration a to b f of t dt. Okay, this is our first property. So let us begin this session by considering this simple property. See, these are all the properties related to definite integrals. By using these properties, we can integrate the given functions in a simple way. Okay, so let us consider the first property. See, what is the first property here? See, integration, observe the integral on the left hand side, a to b. So integration from a to b of f of x. So on the right hand side, integration of a to b f of t dt. See, observe the difference here. See, on the left hand side, the variable of integration is dx. On the right hand side, variable of integration is t. So I have taken t. So this property indicates that even if we change the variable of integration, value of the integral, or if we calculate the definite integral, the value won't change. See, both are equal. So that is the intention of this property. See, f of x dx gives the same answer if you change the variable of integration to other variable, say t. So both the values will be same. That is the first property. So how can we prove this property? See here, consider the integral on the left hand side. Okay, see, left hand side. So I will consider that integral on the, see, left hand side. What is given in the left hand side? A to b f of x dx. So instead of x, we have t. So let us use the substitution method here. See, instead of x, we have t. Okay, so that is put x is equal to t in this integral. Then you differentiate this. Okay, see, differentiate with respect to x or with respect to t. Okay, I will differentiate with respect to t. Then if I differentiate x with respect to t, see, I will get dx by dt is equal to, see, derivative of t with respect to t is 1, or if you cross multiply this, dx is equal to 1, dt into 1, that is it. So now, see, we have used the substitution method. So when we use substitution method, we know we have to change the limits of integration. See, here x is equal to a to x is equal to b. So let us change the limits of integration. See, when x is equal to a, see, where is our substitution? Our substitution is here. So when x is equal to a, see, t is equal to, that is a. Then let us take the upper limit. When x is equal to b, then t will be b only. So this integral becomes see, x is equal to a, x is equal to b. So when x is equal to a, t is equal to what? A. then when x is equal to b, t is equal to what? See b. Then see f of see this x means what? T. Then dx means what? dt. Okay. So this is our, so I have considered this, okay, I have considered LHS, see I got the, see RHS. Okay, see the meaning of this property is, even if we change the variable of integration, value will not change. Okay, so see f of t dt, so we can change to any other variable. So this is our first property. So for example, so let me take one example for this property. Okay, find integration of, okay, see let me write this 1 to 3. Okay, let me integrate this. See, integration of x square is what? X cube divided by 3 from 1 to 3. Now let us calculate this. See, upper limit, value of the upper, see 3, I will substitute x is equal to 3. 3 cube means what? 27 divided by 3, upper limit, minus lower limit is 1, so 1 by 3. So 27 minus 1, this will be what? 26 by 3. See, value is 26 by 3. Now I will consider the same integral. I will change this to other variable, say dt. So that limits of integration, that is upper limit and lower limit, let it be same. Okay, let me integrate this. See, integration of t square is what? See, t cube divided by 3. Observe this, 1 to 3. Now value of the antiderivative at the upper limit minus lower limit. So substitute t is equal to 3, that is 3 cube by 3, that is 27 by 3, minus put t is equal to 1, lower limit, upper limit minus lower limit, that is 1 by 3. See, 27 minus 1, that is what? 26 by 3, 26 by 3, 26 by 3. So this is the meaning of this first property. So even if we change the variable of integration, value remains same. That is our first property. Okay, this is the first property of the definite integrals. Very, very important property. Okay, this I have written as P1, that is first property. So note down the solution of this. Okay, let me consider another property. So that I will call it as say P2. Okay, second property. Okay, this is also one of the important properties. So prove that. Say observe the left hand side and right hand side. F of x dx is equal to, okay, b to a. Okay, observe this second property. Okay, so I have written it as P2, that is second property. See this, observe the left hand side. What is the meaning of this property? See, if I have to integrate one function from x is equal to a to x is equal to b, see a to b of f of x, see if I interchange the limits of integration, then sign of the integral becomes minus, negative. Okay, so here see a to b, that becomes what? B to a. So if limits of integrations are interchanged, then sign of the integral changes, that is it becomes negative. Okay, we have to prove this property. So now let us prove this property. So very, very important property, observe this. So we know this. So if we integrate, see, one function generally, so we'll get one antiderivative. So let us call that antiderivative as f of x. Okay, so if we integrate some function, I will get one answer, antiderivative. So therefore we are calculating this definite integral. So that is, so if I take the limits of integration, then I will get one antiderivative, okay, from a to b. Okay, then upper limit, I have to apply upper limit and lower limit. See, antiderivative at the upper limit minus antiderivative at the lower limit. Okay, this is by definition of definite integrals, or by fundamental theorem of integral calculus. So upper limit minus lower limit. See, observe this. Now from this I can take, see, minus outside, then I will write the same thing as, see, f of a Okay, f of a minus, see f of b, I have taken minus outside, minus f of a, see minus into minus plus f of b. Then see, observe this, I will keep this minus as it is. Observe this carefully. See the terms in the bracket. Value of the antiderivative at a minus value of antiderivative at b. This is nothing but, see, observe this, by integral, by the fundamental theorem of integral calculus, it says if I have a function from a to b, it is nothing but value of the upper limit minus value of the lower limit. See, we use the same definition here. This is f of a minus f of b means it indicates, this thing indicates integration from, see, upper limit here a, upper limit minus lower limit. See, upper limit should be a, then lower limit should be b of the function f of x dx by the definition of fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Okay, see, upper limit value of the antiderivative at the upper limit minus value of the antiderivative at the lower limit. So then, see, this is our RHS. So therefore, so I can write this. Therefore, integration of a to b of f of x dx gives me, see, negative minus of. So if I interchange this, so I will get minus of integral of b to a of f of x dx. Okay, observe this. This is the second property. Okay, let me consider one example here. So this is all about the proof. So let me consider one simple example regarding this. So, okay, find integral of 1 to 3. Okay, 1 to 3. So let us find out the value of this. See, if I integrate x, I will get what? X square divided by 2 from 1 to 3. Then upper limit minus lower. So if I substitute 3, see, 3 square means 9, 9 by 2 minus. So lower limit is 1, 1 square is 1, 1 by 2. So that is 9 minus 1, that is 8, 8 by 2. So 8 by 2 means what? 4. Okay. Then let me find out. See, if I calculate, see, if I interchange these limits of integration, then see, integration of x is what? X square by 2 from 3 to 1. Okay, let me give the upper limit here. See, value of the antiderivative at the upper limit. See, x is equal to 1, so that will be what? 1 by 2 minus, you put x is equal to 3, that will be what? 9 by 2. So 1 minus 9, that is minus 8 by 2, that will be what? See, minus 4. See, this plus 4 and value, this is value of this. If I interchange this, that will be what? Negative. So this second property says, if we integrate a function by considering the limits from a to b, that is as good as, see, this answer, if I interchange these limits of integration, that becomes negative. See, minus of b to a of f of x. See, this plus 4 is this gives me minus 4. That means this is equal to, see, that means 1 to 3 of x dx. This is negative 3 to 1. Okay. See, this minus b to a. So I have interchanged this, that is x dx. So that we can note down from this example. Okay, this is our second property. So what is the second property? If we interchange the limits of integration, so the integral becomes negative. Okay, minus of integration b to a f of x dx. So this is our second property. So very important and very simple property. So let us consider the next property. See, third property. So let me write this as P3. See, this prove that integration of a to b f of x dx is equal to integration a to c f of x dx plus integral of c to b f of x dx. See, very important property, third property. Okay, very important property. See, observe this. What is the meaning of this property? See, if I have to calculate the integral on the left hand side. See, it is from a to b. See, we know that this function is defined in closed interval ab and continuous. Okay, so I have an interval. See, if I consider this a and this b, okay, this is the, so in this interval this function is continuous. See, if I have to calculate this integral in this interval, this integral can be written as a sum of two or more integrals. Here on the right hand side I have written this integral, given integral, as sum of two integrals. Okay, we can write the integrals as a sum of two or more integrals. Okay, so that means this interval, given interval is closed interval, this interval can be splitted, okay, can be divided. So here at which point it is broken, this interval is broken at this point, say c, generally I considered c. Then you calculate this integral of this function from a to c. See this integral of f of x from a to c, see a to c, a closed interval a to c, then plus c to b, okay, plus integral c to b f of x. So this integral can be written as sum of two integrals. Okay, so a to c, then c to b. So we can divide the given interval into two or more intervals also. So yeah, I have combined these two intervals. Okay, a to b plus c to b. That is, we have to prove this. So this is our third very important property, third property. So a to c of f of x dx is equal to integral a to c, okay, a to b f of x dx is equal to a to c f of x plus c to b f of x dx. So now let us prove this result. See, this meaning of this is very simple. So we have a closed interval a to b. So we can see, if I split this interval at some point, say c, then that can be written as sum of two integrals a to c plus c to b. Okay, see, if I split that at this point, say d, then how many integrals I will get? So integral of f of x from a to c plus integral of f of x from c to d plus integral of f of x from d to b. Okay, that is the meaning of this theorem. So here, so that is, see, consider this integral on the left hand side. So we know this, if we calculate this, so we will get what, some antiderivative from a to b. Now upper limit f of b minus this will f of a. So this is by definition. Okay, this is by definition of integral, fundamental theorem of integral calculus. So observe this, I have to introduce a point c here. So what I will do here is, see, this is upper limit minus, okay, upper limit minus lower limit. Then to this I will add and subtract, see this, f of b, okay, I have f of b minus f of a. To this I will add and subtract, I want c, okay, that means I will add and subtract this f of c. See, I will subtract f of c, then I will add, see, f of c. I have subtracted f of c and added, see, f of c. Add and subtract f of c to this. That's what I have done here. Now I will, okay, I will consider the difference here. See, okay, f of b minus f of c minus f of a plus f of c. So add and subtract f of c. So then you group these two, f of b minus f of c, then plus, write this, f of c minus c f of a. Then once again use the definition. Observe this. See this upper limit minus lower limit. This is nothing but, see, this upper limit means b, lower limit means c. This thing can be written as, so if I integrate this function, so we will get this f of x dx c to b plus, then these two, see, upper limit minus lower limit, that is, upper limit is c, lower limit is a, f of x dx. Observe this. See, a to c f of x dx plus c to b f of x dx. So the integral, given integral was a to b f of x dx. This can be written as, see this, a to, okay, a to c f of x dx plus c to b f of x dx. So the given integral can be written as sum of two integrals by dividing the given interval. So this is very important property. Okay, so see, for example, if we have see minus pi by 2 to say pi by 2. So if we have a see limits as see minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 some function, see f of x, we write generally f of x. Then how can we write this as a sum of two integrals? See if I see minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, my closed interval is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. See if I split this at say some point 0, then this thing can be written as, see according to this theorem, see a to b, say this as you consider this as a and a to b, then see what is my dividing point here? 0. So then this can be written as minus pi by 2 to 0 of the given function plus 0 to pi by 2, 0 to pi by 2 of the given function. See, we have to integrate this and this, then add this. So a to c, c to b. See, sum of two integrals. So in this way, this third property helps us to divide the given intervals. Okay. So note down this proof of this simple property. See, I have added f of c and subtracted f of c. That's it. So this is the third property of definite integrals. See then fourth property. So let us consider fourth property. So this is important. Integral of a to b f of x dx. So this can be written as see a plus b minus x dx. So observe this property. This is the fourth property. So prove that. Okay, let me insert the word see prove that. Prove that integration of a to b f of x dx is equal to, see on the right hand side we have integration of a to b f of, see sum of lower limit and upper limit minus x. Okay, so the function can be written as f of a plus b sum of lower limit upper limit minus x with respect to x. So that we have to prove this. So let us consider the proof of this. So see, observe this. So to prove this, we will consider the integral on the right hand side. What is the integral on the right hand side? See a to b, f of a plus b minus x. See here we use the substitution method. Observe this. So substitution means I will consider this. See, put a plus b minus x. See, this is my substitution. Observe this. Put a plus b minus x is equal to t. Very, very important. So whenever we use the substitution method, we know we have to change the limits of integration. Okay. First, let us differentiate this. So differentiate this with respect to t or x. Okay. Differentiate with respect to t on both sides. See here, a and b are limits of integration. They are constants. Derivative of a is 0. Derivative of b is 0. So we get minus. So derivative of x with respect to t. Observe this dx by dt, because I am differentiating with respect to t. Or we can write it directly. Okay. Then derivative of t with respect to t is what? 1. Then if I cross multiply this, see minus dx is equal to dt, or I want dx is equal to minus dt. Okay, dx is equal to minus dt. See, now I have to change the limits of integration. Be careful here. So this is x is equal to a to x is equal to b. So when x is equal to a, then what will be t here? See, t is equal to, put x is equal to a here. See, a plus b, see minus, so x is equal to what? X is equal to a. Okay. Then see this, a minus a, this will be 0, then t will be what? B. Then okay, when x is equal to, see upper limit b, then what is t? See a plus b, see minus b, instead of x put b, then this b minus b 0, see it will be a. See, we have changed the limits here. So x is equal to a to b becomes, see b to a. After writing the integral, it becomes b to a. So that is, our integral becomes, see this integral. So we'll write here. Observe this carefully. Okay, I will continue here. See this. Okay, I will write this. See, x is equal to a to x is equal to b. Okay, see integral of, okay, see f of a plus b minus x. See, a plus b minus x means t. I have substituted that whole thing as t into, see dx. What is dx? See, dx is equal to what? Minus dt. See, I have to write what? Minus dt. So that minus I will write outside because it is a constant. So minus dt. Okay. Then I haven't written the limits. So when x is equal to a, when x is equal to a, t is equal to what? B. So this becomes when x is equal to a, t is equal to b. Then upper limit when x is equal to b. Then what is this t? T is equal to what? A. But I will write it here. So our integral converts to this. Okay. I will continue from this step. So then minus is outside. Okay. Write that minus as it is. Okay, observe this. So it is continuing from, okay, I will put is equal. Okay, see, this is fourth property. So what are our previous three properties? See, previous three properties. Observe this. Second property. What is the second property? See, I will write it here. Okay, I will write that by second property, or I will write that as P2 because I am going to use second property to this. What is the second property? See, second property says if we have integration of a to b f of x dx, then see if I interchange the limits of integration, then sign becomes what? See, negative. I am going to use this second property by P2 by second property. See, we have, see what happens. Observe this integration of see b to a. Okay, I will write that as a to b. That means what? I have changed the limits of integration. So by changing the limits of integration, sign of the integral becomes minus. Already we have one minus here. So minus into minus, that whole thing will be what? Positive. That's why this becomes positive by using the second property. Observe this. So a to b, if we make b to a, that becomes negative. So that negative sign and this negative sign, that will be positive. So a to b. So I will write this f of t dt as it is. Now, see what was our first property? See, in today's session, we have proved another property. What is the first property? So, a to b f of x dx is as good as a to b. So, we can write or we can change the variable of integration. That makes no difference. So, here instead of t, so I will write, okay, I will write it here. So, integration of a to b, see f of x instead of this, see dx, which is our LHS f of x dx. Okay, so I have considered this RHS f of a plus b minus x. So I proved that is equal to a to b integral of a to b f of x dx. Therefore, this property is proved. See, very important property. So what is the simple thing we have to do here is put a plus b minus x as t and differentiate with respect to t. So write it directly, dx is equal to minus. See, after writing this, we can write it directly. Put dx is equal to minus dt. Then change the limits of integration, then use previous two properties. Okay, so this becomes a to b f of x dx. So this is our fourth property. Okay, note down the solution. Then let me consider another property. Okay, fifth property. So what is this fifth property? See, very important property. Prove that integration 0 to a, see f of x dx is equal to 0 to a f of a minus x dx. So observe the property carefully. See, this is the fifth property. So integration of 0 to a, see, lower limit is 0, upper limit is a. Observe this in limits of integrals. So 0 to a, limits of integration are 0 to a. So if we have 0 to a of a function, so that function can be written as 0 to a, see, f of a minus x. So this is the very important property. Okay. See, I will write one example here before proving this. See, if I have to integrate, see this 0 to pi by 2 of cos square x. Okay. See, then How can I make use of this property? See, this property holds good if my lower limit is 0. Okay, 0 to, it ranges from 0 to pi by 4 or 0 to pi by 2, like this. See, 0 to pi by 2. So this is my function, see, f of x. You think this is f of x. Then the same thing can be written by using this property as the integration of, so limits will not change, 0 to pi by 2. See, cos square of, see, instead of x, they have written a minus x. See, upper limit minus x. So what is upper limit is pi by 2 minus x. See this. So that's what this theorem says. This property says. See, cos square of pi by 2 minus, then I can continue the simplification. So upper limit minus x, 0 to a, f of a minus x. So this we have to prove. So here we are only talking about the proofs, okay, not the examples. Afterwards we can solve some examples, okay. So let us prove this. So to prove this, consider this integral on the RHS. So I will consider, see, 0 to a, that is f of a minus x. That is the given integral on the right hand side. See, once again, very simple point. How we have to start here, as we done for our previous property. See, this quantity within the bracket is a minus x. So put that a minus x is equal to t, substitution method. Then we have to change the limits of integration. So I will substitute, okay, put a minus x is equal to t. This is my substitution. Then you differentiate this, very simple. Differentiate with respect to t. Then see, derivative of a is 0, then minus is there. So differentiation of x with respect to t, that is dx by, okay, we can write it directly. Then derivative of t with respect to t is 1. Then we can cross multiply, minus dx is equal to dt, or dx is equal to, see, minus dt. Dx is equal to minus dt. Now I will change the limits of integration here. See, when x is equal to 0, what happens? Then when x is equal to a, what happens? We have to simplify this. See, when x is equal to 0, then our substitution becomes, see, t is equal to, see, put x is equal to 0 here. See, a minus 0. A minus 0 is what? A. Then when x is equal to a, see here, a minus, so put x is equal to a. See, a minus a, that is what? 0. Observe this. See, x is equal to 0 to a becomes t is equal to a to 0. Therefore, this integral becomes, observe this. So we have to write like this, okay, continue. See, integral of, so this is what? X is equal to 0 to x is equal to a. So then this becomes what? T, because our substitution is t. So t is, see, when x is equal to 0, t is equal to what? A. So a. Then when x is equal to a, t is equal to what? 0. We'll write this, a to 0. So limits of integrations have been